In a dramatic political development on Monday, January 26, 2026, Suella Braverman, a senior figure in recent Conservative governments and former Home Secretary, announced that she is leaving the Conservative Party, the party she joined more than 3 decades ago, to join Reform UK, the populist party led by Nigel Farage. Her defection adds significant momentum to Reform's challenge on the UK political right and deepens the Conservative Party's ongoing crisis. Braverman's decision to switch parties was made public at a Reform UK press conference in London, where she declared that she felt she had come home by joining Farage's party, immediately taking her seat in the House of Commons as a Reform UK MP representing Fareham and Waterlooville. Her move comes amid a string of high-profile defections from the Conservatives, including ex-Minister Robert Jenrick and former leadership contender Andrew Rosendale, and means Reform UK now has 8 MPs in Westminster. In her speech, Braverman did not mince words about her former party. She lambasted the Conservatives for what she said was a failure to deliver on key policy promises and to confront Britain's most pressing challenges. She argued that Britain is broken, suffering across core areas such as immigration, public services, safety, defence, and national pride. The Conservatives' pledges, especially on Brexit-related freedoms, including leaving the European Court of Human Rights, ECHR, had been lies with no real intention of fulfillment. She and others on the right have been punished or sidelined within the party for pushing hardline positions. Braverman's rhetoric echoed that of previous Reform defectors, that the Conservative leadership has abandoned its core supporters and failed to take decisive action on issues like immigration control and sovereignty. Braverman's political trajectory has been highly polarizing. She first became a national figure rising through the Tory ranks, serving in senior roles under multiple leaders, culminating in her appointment as Home Secretary. Despite this stature, her time in government was marked by controversy. She was dismissed from cabinet positions under both Liz Truss and Rishi Sunak, attracting criticism from colleagues for her confrontational style and tactical missteps. Her bid for Conservative leadership in 2022 failed to gain significant traction, underlining growing dissatisfaction within her own party. Critics have often described her as not a team player, a perception that some argue could now limit her new party's broader appeal. Yet for Reform UK, a party positioning itself as the voice of voters disillusioned with the traditional two-party system, Braverman's experience is a valuable asset. Her expertise on immigration and Brexit issues aligns with Reform's core platform. Nigel Farage, the architect of the Brexit campaign and leader of Reform UK, hailed Braverman's move as a major boost for his party, describing her as someone who had been right about many key issues and suffered political setbacks for her stance. Farage has been actively fostering Reform's growth since the 2024 general election, tapping into voter frustration with both the Conservatives and Labour. However, political analysts have raised questions about whether this strategy carries risks. By attracting high-profile former Conservatives, especially those associated with controversial policy decisions, Reform UK may be strengthening its parliamentary bench but also potentially blurring the ideological differences that distinguish it from its former rivals. Critics argue this could reduce the party's ability to present itself as a genuinely new direction in British politics. Still, Reform UK's current polling, reportedly ahead of both main parties in some early projections for the next general election, suggests the gamble could pay dividends if it can consolidate right-of-centre discontent into sustained electoral support. Braverman's defection quickly sparked political controversy, both inside and outside Westminster. Following the announcement, the Conservative Party issued an unusual statement implying that Braverman's departure was linked to her mental health. The comment was widely condemned as insensitive and deeply inappropriate by politicians across the spectrum and by mental health charities. The party later retracted the statement, describing it as issued in error. Braverman herself dismissed the remark as pathetic, saying it revealed more about her former party's state than it did about her. Opposition parties were quick to weigh in. Labour criticised the move as evidence that Reform UK is simply collecting failed Tories, who had helped create the very problems they now claim to solve. Liberal Democrats echoed similar sentiments, portraying Braverman's switch as opportunistic. Inside the Conservatives, reactions were mixed. Some on the right expressed disappointment at losing a well-known figure, while others framed it as a necessary clearing out of disruptive personalities, allowing the party to rebuild under new leadership. Braverman's defection is more than just a quirky personality swap. It holds real significance for the broader political landscape in the UK. 1. Conservative party stability. The Conservatives are facing a period of acute instability. Multiple defections to Reform UK in a short time amplify perceptions of internal division, especially among its right-wing ranks, and raise questions about the party's capacity to hold together its coalition of voters and MPs. 2. Rise of Reform UK. Reform UK is no longer a fringe player. The influx of experienced MPs gives the party increased legitimacy and parliamentary influence. With 8 MPs, it now holds more seats than some smaller parties and can leverage its position to shape political debate, particularly on immigration, sovereignty, and public services. 3. Electoral considerations. The next general election, expected by 2029, could see Reform UK making more significant inroads, especially if it continues to attract disaffected Conservatives and taps into voter dissatisfaction with mainstream parties. If Reform consolidates enough support, it could disrupt traditional Conservative, Labour dynamics and push UK politics further toward fragmentation. 4. Voter sentiment and public discourse. Braverman's decision reflects deepening frustration among some segments of the electorate who feel that both Conservative and Labour leaders have failed to address urgent national issues effectively. This disconnect between political leadership and voter priorities fuels the appeal of alternative parties like Reform UK. Suella Braverman's defection to Reform UK marks a significant moment in contemporary British politics. It symbolizes not just the personal evolution of a high-profile politician, but also the shifting contours of the right side of the political spectrum. Whether this move strengthens Reform UK's long-term prospects or exacerbates the fragmentation of the centre-right vote remains to be seen. What is clear is that the Conservative Party must contend with a growing schism within its ranks, while Reform UK, once dismissed as a minor force, now has a platform to punch above its weight in shaping national debates. Braverman's announcement may yet prove a watershed moment, either as the beginning of a substantial realignment among right-leaning voters or an emblem of the challenges facing all parties in balancing ideology, leadership and public trust in today's UK political environment.